World War II, I was a participant in a couple of battles in Europe. I'm Murray Leff. At the time, I was a private first class. That's as high as I rose in the ranks. That's all I wanted. I didn't want any responsibility for anybody else. Didn't want to be responsible for anyone else getting hurt, killed, or whatever. And so, this happened in Germany, March 8th, 1945. We entered this town of Ossenburg under heavy fire. We advanced from one house to the next, and finally were pinned down in this one house and couldn't move until this tank, happened to be a black tanker, rolled up, and I showed him where we were receiving the fire from. He turned his machine gun on that position, emptied out several belts, and in the process, moving the tank around, he ground up an iron fence and then threw all the empty cartridges and belts onto the ground and moved away, and I took a picture of that. He moved to the side of the house where he continued firing, and I took a picture through a shell hole in the side of the house which shows the tank firing. The morning after the initial attack, around, I guess it must have been 6 o'clock, just as it was getting light, the Germans threw in a terrific artillery barrage, which it wasn't a long barrage, but it was very intense, and in the process of doing that, they kept our heads down. We weren't going to go out and shoot back with all that coming in. So they were able to roll out an 88 millimeter gun, which is the very feared, the most feared gun that the Americans faced on the land. Before anyone knew, the tank had gotten 2 hits, and it went up in flames, ammunition exploding. I took a picture from around the corner of the house. I actually was a twin lens reflex, so I put the camera around the corner. I didn't want to get hit by any of the exploding ammunition, and I took the picture you'll see of this tank burning. Then the following day, I went out, and I felt free to do so because the other elements of our division had bypassed us, so we could feel free, a little freer anyway, to walk around. And I took the picture showing myself in front of this tank with a 88 millimeter hole, one behind my shoulder and one in front of me. They're very clearly visible. Incidentally, I think it was the day after that a chaplain showed up and pulled out the people who were in the tank. All you could see was a shapeless mass, a black shapeless mass that they had turned into. And I had my camera there, and I was going to take a picture, and this chaplain says, "You don't want this picture." And I agreed with him. I didn't want it. The CP had gotten 2 or 3 shell holes, one directly through the doorway and one right immediately above it. And these 2 88s just tore up the whole building and tore some of the members of my company apart. Literally tore them apart, so that you can see in one of the pictures one of the legs of one of these people dismembered, leaning against what might be a barrel, I'm not sure. Everything covered in plaster dust, and it was a real shock to watch, to see it, especially since one of my very good friends, 2 of my friends were in there. One was killed. His name was Kaplinger. I especially remember him because he helped me dig my first foxhole on the very first day I arrived on the front line. For all I know, it might be his leg.